I was almost asleep when my phone lit up. Her name on the screen. I smiled without thinking. The automatic smile you get when the person you love calls you unexpectedly. I assumed she was just checking in before bed. Maybe she missed me. Maybe something funny had happened at dinner that she wanted to tell me about. I picked up. She did not say hello. There was just noise. Background noise. Music, low and distant. The sound of a room. And then voices. I almost hung up. Pocket dial, I thought. I will text her and let her know. And then I heard a man's voice. Close. Comfortable. The kind of voice that is not across a room. The kind that is right next to you. And then I heard my wife laugh. Not her polite laugh. Not her social laugh. Her real one. The one I had not heard her use around me in longer than I wanted to admit. I did not hang up. I lay completely still in our bed, in our house, with our dog asleep at my feet. And I listened for the next 6 minutes to a conversation that ended my marriage. My name is Joel. I am 36. I was married to my wife Priya for 5 years, together for 8 before that. We were the couple that other people pointed to, the ones who had met young and actually made it work, who still held hands, who finished each other's sentences. I believed that, completely, right up until the moment I did not. Priya and I had met in our mid-20s through work. She was in finance, I was in project management. We were put on the same cross-department initiative and spent 3 weeks bickering professionally before we admitted we liked each other. Our first date was a coffee that turned into a 6-hour walk around the city. I knew by the end of it. We built slowly and carefully. Dated for 2 years before moving in together. Lived together for 3 years before I proposed. Got married in a small ceremony with just the people who actually mattered. No big performance. Just us and the people we loved. Our marriage was not perfect. No marriage is. But it was solid. Or at least, I thought it was solid. I have since learned that there is a difference between something being solid and something appearing solid while quietly developing cracks you are not looking for. The girls' trip had been planned for about 6 weeks. 4 of Priya's close friends, a long weekend in Miami, a birthday celebration for her friend Kezia, who was turning 35. I had heard about Kezia's birthday plans for months. The hotel was booked, the itinerary was loosely planned. I had helped Priya pick out what to pack. I drove her to the airport myself, kissed her goodbye at the departures entrance, told her to have fun. That was a Thursday morning. By Friday midnight, I was lying in our bed listening to my wife's accidental phone call and understanding, with terrible clarity, that I had been a fool. I want to be careful about how much I describe from those 6 minutes, because some of it I am still not ready to say out loud. But I will tell you what I know. The man's voice was someone she clearly knew well. They were not just meeting. The ease between them, the shorthand, the way they spoke over each other comfortably, the way he said her name. That is not how you speak to someone new. That is how you speak to someone you have been speaking to for a long time. I heard them talking about dinner, about where they had gone, about something funny that had happened with the group earlier in the evening, which told me that yes, some of her friends were there, that the girls' trip itself was not entirely a fabrication. Just what she had added to it. And then I heard her say something, casual, quiet, almost throwaway, that made the whole picture collapse into focus. She said she had told me she was sharing a room with Kezia. He laughed. She laughed. And then his voice moved closer, and the audio became something I will not describe further. I ended the call. I put my phone face down on the nightstand. I stared at the ceiling for a very long time. Then I picked my phone back up and looked at flights to Miami. I want to be clear about my state of mind when I booked that flight. I was not in a rage. I was not planning a scene. I have never been someone who operates well from anger. I shut down and go cold and move slowly and deliberately. Some people who know me would say that is its own kind of scary. I booked a 6:15 a.m. flight. I packed a small bag. I sat at the kitchen table and drank coffee and watched the clock until it was time to leave for the airport. I did not text her. I did not call. I let her phone show that her accidental call had connected for 6 minutes and 17 seconds, and I said nothing about it. I wanted to see her face when she saw me. I needed to see it. I needed to know if she was someone who could look me in the eye. The flight was 2 hours and 40 minutes. I slept for none of it. I had the hotel name because I had helped her book it. The Kimpton in Brickell. I took a cab straight there from the airport. It was 9:40 in the morning. I asked at the front desk for her room number. They would not give it to me, of course, which I had expected. I texted her instead, just 4 words. Come down to lobby. 3 minutes of silence, then, Joel? What? Why are you here? I did not answer. I just waited. She came down 7 minutes later, alone. She was wearing a hotel robe and her hair was not done yet, and the moment she saw my face, she stopped walking. She stopped maybe 10 feet away from me, and I watched her do the calculation in real time, trying to figure out what I knew, how much I knew, whether there was still a version of this she could manage. I saved her the trouble. I told her I had been on the phone for 6 minutes and 17 seconds the night before. I watched the color leave her face. We did not have a screaming fight in the lobby of the Kimpton in Brickell. That is not who either of us are. We found a quiet corner near the window, and we sat across from each other, and we talked in low voices like 2 people trying very hard to remain human in an inhuman moment. His name was Derek. They had met 8 months ago at a conference. It had not been physical immediately. She wanted me to know that, as if a timeline made any difference. She said she had been trying to end it. She said she did not know how to tell me. She said a lot of things that I am sure she believed while she was saying them. I listened to all of it. I am good at listening. I have always been good at listening. When she finished, I asked her one question. I asked her if she was in love with him. She did not answer immediately, and the pause, that 3-second pause where she looked at her hands instead of at me, was the only answer I actually needed. I nodded. I stood up. I told her I would be out of the house by the time she got back from Miami, that she should enjoy the rest of her trip, that I hoped she and Derek had a wonderful weekend. She grabbed my arm when I stood. She was crying. She said she was sorry. She said she did not want to lose me. I looked at her hand on my arm. Then I looked at her. I said, "You made that choice 8 months ago. You just did not tell me." And I walked out of that hotel into the Miami morning and stood on the pavement for a moment in the sun and breathed. I was true to my word. I was out of the house before she landed. I stayed with my brother for 3 weeks. I have since found my own place. Small, quiet, mine. The divorce is in process. We are being civil. There are no children involved, which is the one mercy in all of this. Biscuit, our dog, is with me. That felt like the one negotiation that actually mattered. People keep asking me if I am angry. I tell them honestly, not anymore. The anger burned fast and hot and was gone within a week. What replaced it was something I did not expect. Clarity. The kind of clarity that only comes when you stop carrying something heavy you did not even know you were holding. I loved Priya well. I have no regrets about who I was in that marriage. She will have to carry the weight of her choices. I have put mine down. If someone out there is questioning something that feels off in their relationship, trust that feeling. You are not paranoid. You are paying attention. Leave a comment. I read every single one.